Hello buddy, Crow back again on another pickups video. I am going to be doing pickups from the Midwest Gaming Classic. Was there actually last week, Saturday and Sunday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually break this video up into 4 different parts, kind of with things themed together. I have Atari stuff, I have PlayStation stuff, Sega stuff, and Nintendo stuff, and I think I'll just break it up between those different videos. And what I'm going to start with is actually the Atari stuff that I picked up there. Actually, this was the very first thing I picked up there, and it is this Rokeland. This looks like a trackball, but it really isn't. This is kind of like a ball that you put your palm on. I guess you could sort of simulate like you're rolling a trackball. I brought this up to somebody like, oh, it'd be nice if there was a trackball for the Atari computer or something like that. And he pulled this out, said it was $5. I was like, sure, why not? I'll take it. Now, I haven't really tried it yet. If I thought about it maybe a little bit more, maybe I wouldn't have picked this up. I don't know, like, how this would actually translate well into being a trackball, but it's kind of interesting, so I wound up picking this up, and I realize I'm, like, being careful, like, over here, but I'm probably not showing anything over here yet. So, yeah, there's that. The other controller stuff that I picked up, I was actually looking for these for quite some time. The Atari 2600 keyboard controllers. There's actually 2 of them here. They kind of slide apart. You can slide them together however you want. I had these when I was a kid, at least our family did when we were a kid, and I always wanted to get these again. But every time I saw them, it was like, oh, a pack of 2, $20. 2 of them bundled together here, this cost me $3. Now, so I jumped on that, and when I took these home and I tried them out, some of the buttons weren't working. I plugged it in, I tried a game, I hit the buttons for 2, 5, 8, and 0, right down the middle, weren't working. So I tried the other controller, it was the same thing, 2, 5, 8, 0. I took them apart, cleaned them up, resoldered some of the connections and everything, and then I plugged it in and it seemed to work. I'm like, oh good, it works. Oh good, it works. And then I put the controllers back together and it didn't work again. And I was about to give up on it, but then I plugged in another Atari 2600, and for some reason they worked fine with the other 2600. So I don't know why that these weren't working on my 6 switch, but they were working on my 4 switch. But anyway, these do work. Now, one of the reasons, after I picked these up, I was like, okay, now I need to find the keyboard games that I used to have. Because there was one game in particular that I was looking for, that I wanted the keyboard controllers for, and it is actually this one, the Atari 2600 Code Breaker, because I remember very specifically playing this as a kid. Now there's actually 2 different game types. The first is Code Breaker, and the way this works is, depending on the game variation, there's either a 3-digit number or a 4-digit number you have to guess. Now I don't think that the numbers repeat, but so basically, you would guess. You know, you don't know what the number is. You'd guess a number. Like you'd guess 1, 2, 3, and then you'd hit enter, or rather what key is it on here? It's like the pound key or whatever. So after you enter the number in, it gives you a little mark saying that, and the marks indicate that, hey, you've got this many numbers right. It tells you whether or not the numbers are in the right position, or if you've got the right numbers but they're in the wrong position. And then using whatever strategy you have, you try and guess again and see if you can get the number right. And you have as many tries as many numbers as it fills up the screen. So if you can't figure it out in like 8, 10 tries, I really don't remember how many numbers fill up the screen, then you basically fail. But if you guess it beforehand, then you win. It's kind of an interesting game, and I like playing it as a kid, and that's why I wanted the keyboard controllers again, and that's why I wanted this. Now, there is another set of games on here, NIM, N-I-M. I don't know what that is or how to play that. I guess I could look it up. It's kind of funny because very recently, Lazy Game Reviews put up a video on some edutainment game. And I can't remember what it was called, some island of Dr. something, Fractus, or I can't remember the name of it. But again, NIM was one of the games in there, and he did a good job of explaining it. But I've never played it, I can't explain it. And all I really need to do probably is look at the manual to figure it out. But certainly just by playing it, I couldn't figure it out. So that game this was $2 too. So I picked that up. Actually, the same vendor guy had a bunch of 2600 games, and I actually got all the 2600 games from him. And this was immediately after picking up the keyboard controllers from another booth. So there's also Brain Games. This was $2 as well. Has various different modes in here. We've got the first set of games, which is Touch Me, and basically it works like Simon, where it would say either have 6 or 8. Maybe 6 or 8? I don't really remember. 6 or 9? I don't remember. But basically, it kind of shows the. It's like plays like a Simon noise and touch this key. So you have to do it. So you do it once, and then it ups it to 2, and then you do 2, and then you 3, and then you 4, and you just keep going until you screw up. And the object is to see how far you get, just like the old Simon game. Count Me works pretty much the same way, I think, except that instead of showing which button to hit in a block, it shows it in it just shows what number to hit. So it'll say 1, then you hit 1, then it'll say 1 5, and then you hit 1 5, then 1 5 8, and then you hit 1 5 8, and on and on and on. So it's like pretty much the same thing as Touch Me, except you're actually looking at numbers instead of the positions. Picture Me. I actually don't know this one. Find Me, I think, is the one where it shows you 4 images, and you have to select which one is not the same as the other. So 3 of the images are the same, 1 of them is slightly off, and honestly I think that's the easiest of all of them. Add Me, I can't remember. I really can't. I played these games earlier this week, and now I can't remember what Add Me was. Play Me is just like kind of like you play notes, and it's not really a game, but you make music, I think. So that is Brain Games. And then the last one I picked up for the 2600 using the keyboard controllers is a game of concentration, and it's basically a game where you try to match the images. But what is funny is that after playing this with the keyboard controller, I can honestly say that this could have been played better with the joystick, where you want to select which tile you want to select instead of typing in the numbers. Because when you get to the bigger ones, you've got like 30, I think. No, it's not that big. 25 something, 25, 28 something. It's a big area, and you have to type in the numbers for every time. So if you want to select 1, you have to hit 1, enter. And then, but if you want spot 11, you have to type in 11, enter. Instead of just moving a cursor to select the whichever tile you want to see. I think it would have been better that way. But honestly, it's a fun game for the Atari 2600, I think. Although there's like tons of matching games all over the place. But again, this was $2, and I just wanted to, since I had the keyboard controllers now, I wanted to get whatever keyboard controller games there were. And I think there might be just one more that I don't have, and I don't want to get it. I think it's like a basic programming, whatever, computer programming one, and it's just entering code in with the keyboard controllers. It's not really a game, but I kind of skipped that one altogether. But yeah, I still have a couple more Atari pickups, because for the Atari 400/800 XE, XL, the whole Atari computer line, I picked up some games there. There was a booth that had 4 games, and it was the only Atari 8-bit games I saw at the entire place. So the ones I didn't pick up were Congo Bongo. I had Congo Bongo 5200. I didn't like it. Not only didn't I like the controls, which wouldn't have been an issue on the Atari computer here, but for some reason it didn't translate well from the arcade, I don't think. So I skipped that one entirely. They were asking $25 for it, and I was like, I don't want that game, not for that price. Another one I was pretty interested in was Zaxxon, because I used to play Zaxxon in the Atari 8-bit, but they were asking $50 for it, and I was like, man, that seems like a high price for it. But when I looked it up on eBay while I was there, yeah, the asking price is about $50 for that game, maybe $45, $50. So I don't think they were pricing that game too high, and I was like, it's just more money than I want to spend. I mean, out of everything I bought at the show, the most expensive thing I bought was $20, and that was kind of like the rare out there thing. Most of the stuff that I bought was around $5 to $10. So I kind of was like, nah, I skipped it. But there were 2 other games I bought. One I bought was Miner 2049er. Now I think I used to have this one for the Atari 5200. I might be mistaken, but it's kind of a game where you run around and you have to run over every bit of area on the ground. And then cover, like, and then once you do that, you've passed, and then you go on to the next level. But there's little guys that are running around. Now, what was funny was I completely forgot that you could jump on the guys. Now, you can't jump on them anytime you want. They have to be kind of like in their normal mode. Once they start flashing and acting all goofy, they're going to kill you no matter what. So you kind of have to be careful of that. But it's kind of a fun game. Kind of can get difficult at times. How much did I pay for this? I have a paper in front of here for everything that I bought. It was because I took off all the stickers of everything, and I was like, oh, before I forget, I better write down how much I paid. $15. This was $15, and it's kind of funny because it's got it's got left cartridge written on there, and it's in a different kind of left cartridge format that I haven't seen yet. So, oh, look at this! It's got the game description on the back as well. You control Bounty Bob as he climbs ladders and walks on the framework. Use the special equipment like the transporters, the lifts, and the cannon to help Bob claim the mines. Claim the mine. Collect the various possessions left by previous explorers, but watch out for mutant organisms that lurk everywhere to try to waste you. Requires 16 memory and a single joystick plugged into jack number 1. So it's kind of nice that the entire description is on the back of that cartridge. I guess I really haven't made it that far in the game because I don't remember seeing cannons, and I think there other items where you just select it. So to me, it kind of looks like the first level of Donkey Kong. It's just that your goal is to traverse all the area to claim it all, and that's pretty much it. The last Atari game that I picked up is Journey to the Planets, again for the Atari computers. This one actually came with the manual as well. Now, it's not the greatest game, but man, it's innovative for the time, because the whole purpose of this game is to leave your planet and explore other planets. And it does it in a kind of weird way. So like when you first start up the game, you have to kind of explore the area. There's a gun for you to pick up. So basically, you pick up the gun, and then you jump in the ship, and then you fly off the world, and then you're basically in outer space, avoiding comets and everything. And you can view your map, and you map the entire area, and then you could visit other planets, and other planets have puzzles for you to solve. It's kind of done in sort of like a platformy type of way. You have to shoot things and solve puzzles. I didn't quite understand a lot of what I was doing, but I did make a little bit of progress in some areas. I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to collect. I guess you're supposed to collect things and then take it back to your planet. You know, because in the whole time I played, my score was 0. I don't know how to score any points in the game. But yeah, you explore a planet. You might go to another planet. I don't know if there's something where you go to one planet, you have to pick up something you need for another planet. I could totally see that happening. But it's very innovative for the time. We're talking about early 80s here. Is there a copyright on this? Nope. But I think it's like early 80s. But for that time, that's kind of ahead of its time, I think. And you know what? I think that'll be the end of part 1. Part 2 of my Midwest Gaming Classics, I think, will be some Sega games. And there's not too many of them, so that'll be even a shorter video. So thanks everyone watching. See you all next time. Bye.